All right, and we're back with, I think, day 7. I mean, if you're counting days the way that every single day is a lesson, but there might be a lot of practice involved. So the 7th lesson in the volume of compound shapes. And here's where we're at, and that's it's me, Mr. Hain. Okay, so here we go. Our essential question. Very straightforward today. How can I find the volume of compound shapes? And of course, we're going to be using mathematical practice number 4. We're going to model problems with math. All right, so what does this mean? Let's take a look. So this is a simple worked example. It is not on your page, so you're going to have to follow along. If I was a teacher in the room, what I would do is I would stop and make sure that every student has turned over that half sheet and is writing down this worked example on the back, step by step as we go. So go ahead and do that now. I'll wait until, and you can pause the video if need be, until all the students have their papers turned over and are ready to go. And we're back. All right, so let's launch in. There are just two basic shapes here. If you break it apart, one of them is this little slanted part in front that has a triangle on it, and the other is this rectangular prism. So we have a triangular prism and a rectangular prism. So for the triangular prism, I like to write my formula for it a little bit differently than you might see in a math book. And the rectangular prism is a second one. So let's take a look at the triangular prism. So I like to think of the volume as the base times the height of the triangle divided by 2 times how deep it goes into the paper. Okay, so I need to find the base of this triangle. If several of you have already written down as 3, that's because you're smart. And I need to find the height of the triangle, and it's this line. So to find the height of this line, I know it's a rectangular prism, so I look over to the back side of the rectangular prism, and I see it matches this line, which is 6. So I have the base of the triangle, which is 3, and the height, which is 6. And I multiply it by how deep it goes into the paper, and that number is 4. Okay, so I'm going to substitute my numbers into the formula here, and I have the base is 3, the height is 6 of the triangle divided by 2, and then I multiply that times how deep it goes into the paper. Swip it all into a calculator, if swip is a word, and of course the volume is 36 cubic meters. So that leaves us with just the rectangular prism, which is the most straightforward of all areas and volumes to find. It's just length times width times height. And no, yes, it does not matter what order you put length, width, and height in, as long as you're not repeating yourself. So I have 6 times 5 times 4. All right, put that in the calculator or do it in your head, and we have 120 cubic meters. And of course, we have these two shapes. They are put together, so I just put them together using the mathematical operation of if you said addition, then you're right. That's right. So I'm just going to add them together. 156 cubic meters. Now I'm going to let the beauty of the math just wash over you, and I will tell the adult in the room, if you're watching this in a classroom, this is the only slide for this short video review of the volume of compound shapes, primarily because I like to focus on little nuggets at a time, and this is the one that I really want to focus in on, a triangular prism and a rectangular prism. Cool. So pause the video now. Go around the classroom if this is shown in a classroom and make sure that every student has both of these formulas written on their paper, both the triangular prism and the rectangular prism. You don't have to draw this shape, but it gives you an idea of what it is. They have lots of examples on the front of their page if they're in a class, and you have access to my copies and my worksheets. So there you go. And of course, if you're in my class, then write your summary and make sure your table of contents are updated. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, keep doing the math.